My turn.
轮到我了。
My turn.
Siramo.
With the 20th pick in the 2000 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Craig Speedy Claxton of Hofstra University.
Craig Speedy Claxton is one of the greatest basketball players to come out of New York. Speedy was the 20th pick in the 2000 NBA draft. He is Hofstra's all-time leader in steals and assists. In high school, he played with Lamar Odom, and in the pros, he played with Allen Iverson, Tim Duncan, Steve Kerr, Mike Bibby, and many others. Claxton helped the Spurs take down the Nets in the finals back in 2003. After playing 10 years in the league and scouting for the Golden State Warriors, Speedy decided to return to Hofstra and coach. What's up?
What's going on, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Can't complain.
You helped the Warriors go their first title. What made you step away from the executive side and come back to Hofstra?
I thought it was a chance for me to get back and help build this program and get back to the glory days, like when I was here.
Yeah. Did you think Steve Kerr, when you were in San Antonio, was going to blow up and be a big-time coach?
Nah, I didn't. I mean, Steve was always a quiet guy. I mean, obviously he was knowledgeable about the game, but he never said that he wanted to get into coaching at that time.
Yeah. When you were in the league, did you ever think you would be on both sides, executive, and then come back to coach at your alma mater?
Nah, because I kind of just played it by ear, I guess. I didn't really have a plan for after I was done playing basketball. And then kind of later into my career, I was like, you know what? It's time to start thinking about what I'm gonna do after I retire. And an opportunity presented itself to get into scouting with Golden State, and I took that and I did that for 3 years. And then when the Hofstra job opened up, Coach Mahali got the job, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be back in New York, and the opportunity presented itself, and they hired me.
I saw an interview. You said if you knew you played hard enough on that court right there, you said there'd be an opportunity years down the road. Would that allow you to come back and coach?
Oh, I mean, that kind of went into my decision to come here in the first place. I wanted to go to a school where I could have a huge impact, and I'll always be able to go back there.
Did Jay Wright ever tell you you had potential to coach?
No, Jay Wright never told me that. The only person who told me that was Don Nelson, actually. Played with Don Nelson my last year in the league, and he came up to me one day after practice, and he was like, you ever think about getting into coaching? He said, I think you'll make an excellent coach. And at that time, he actually wanted me to get on his staff, but I wanted to kind of get back to New York. I didn't really want to live out in California. So they gave me a job actually on the executive side in the scouting department.
What's up with you being so tied to New York? Because a lot of athletes today, like in high school, they get all these scouts to come see them, and then they decide to venture elsewhere. But you decide to stay.
I don't know, man. I love New York. I mean, I'm born and raised here. I grew up here. All my family and friends is here, and I love everything New York has to offer. Like if you ever looking to get into something or do something or go anywhere, I mean, New York is the best place to live.
What made you choose Hofstra and not Seton Hall or St. John's, but they wanted you too?
Yeah, I mean, I just felt comfortable with the coaching staff at the time. Coach Wright and his staff, they showed me a lot of interest. They was basically at every game that I played. Everywhere I turned around, it was constantly in my face. I mean, they just did a really good job of recruiting me.
And then, what did they do that helped you last 10 years in the league? Because a lot of people don't last that long.
Yeah, I mean, they taught me how to play the game the right way, how to approach the game, play every possession like it's the last. And overall, just play hard, man.
You would be right.
Right. I remember so you won Player of the Year sophomore year and senior year, but junior year, you said you got big-headed after your sophomore season.
Yeah, I kind of was feeling myself after my sophomore year. I had some early success, and then I started doing the wrong things, going out, too much partying, a lot more socializing. Everybody kind of wanted to be around me, and I took a step back my junior year. I didn't work hard that summer, and it kind of showed on the court. I mean, I had a miserable junior year. I mean, I think it was one of the worst years of my career playing basketball. Like, I had just a hard time scoring the ball, just doing everything. Coach Wright moved me off the ball. It was just a rough start.
How did Brett Gunning help you that summer exactly?
Well, I spent a lot of time with Brett. He was kind of like my workout coach. He really got me back focused and got me back into the gym. And then he helped me with my jumper.
You weren't surprised seeing him help your former protege, Chris Paul, when he was with the Rockets?
Nah, I mean, I'm glad that they're together. Both are outstanding people, and both had a huge impact on my life, actually.
Being with Chris Paul, what was it like that, not mentoring him, but being in New Orleans right after Hurricane Katrina?
Well, we weren't really in New Orleans because they moved us to Oklahoma City. But
right.
He was a up and coming player. I was probably like a 6-year vet or something like that. So he was kind of like my young boy. Took him under my wings, kind of showed him the ropes, and till this day, he's one of my good friends.
And seeing his career going the way it did, you know, getting shipped to OKC after Houston had him there for 2 seasons. How'd you feel when they just said, you know what, we through with you? That's
the business of it, man. I mean, they're always looking, these organizations are always looking to get better. And unfortunately, an opportunity presented itself where they could get a younger, more exciting Russell Westbrook. So they had to take it. And that was at the expense of CP.
Because you said it's a business, did you ever feel like you would have stayed in one city, one team, or you always knew?
No, I mean, of course you wish you would, but the reality of it is not too many players often get to do that.
Right.
The special ones, but like, look, even Bron had to move around. I mean, it was his choice, but he moved around a little bit. It's just part of the business.
What was the most distractions team you played for? Because I hear Atlanta, like that city, just.
The most distractions for me would probably be Philly, my first couple of years, just because it was the closest to New York, so a lot of my family friends could easily drive up to Philly, and there's a lot of girls in Philly. I mean, so there's a lot of distractions out there.
Was it a distraction for you to come back during the finals? Because you from here, but Jersey's right there, you know?
Well, we actually, it wasn't distraction, but you know what I'm saying? At the time, it's a championship, you gotta be focused. So it wasn't no partying, wasn't no family and friends in my hotel rooms. It was straight, I'm here for business. And I'm gonna be back in another 2 weeks after this to celebrate.
What was it like your rookie season though, watching the finals from the bench?
It was cool. I mean, because you know, growing up, being able to watch the finals all those years, and then to actually basically have a courtside seat to every game was pretty dope.
Right. Did you ever feel like, yo, I wish I could be out there for my teammates?
Oh, of course. I mean, it was unfortunate that I tore my ACL. But listen, I was lucky enough to say I got to watch a magical season, and probably AI's best season ever.
Yeah, won MVP.
Yeah.
Larry Brown won Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I know. It was a magical season. I mean, to see how much excitement that the city had behind us was unbelievable. My first in the league.
And you felt like you made the right choice going to and entering the draft after your senior year as opposed to any other season?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Like I said, my junior year was so bad. I didn't have an option to enter it after my junior year. So, I mean, I was just draft eligible by nature of being a senior.
I found it ironic that you got not drafted, but you got hurt facing the Jazz, and Justin got drafted by Utah.
That is kind of crazy. I never even thought about it like that.
Yeah. How'd that make you feel knowing your protege?
Ah, man, it was unbelievable. I remember I was out at a friend's event that night of the draft, so I was kind of following it. I wasn't really watching it. I was just kind of following it on my phone, and then once I finally saw that he got picked, I was ecstatic. I had to go outside the establishment and give him a call, and we both just cried to each other, and he thanked me. I thanked him for staying with me.
He went to your alma mater too in high school.
Yeah, he's following my footsteps.
Yeah,
he is. That's my young protege, man. He's done well for himself. Hopefully he'll be able to stick in there for a long time and have a successful career.
Right. What more tips do you give him as he's now a professional player, not a college?
Believe that you belong on that level. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that he got to quickly overcome. Like, he can't be a fan anymore. Like, those are his co-workers now. So just believe in yourself, believe that you belong, and they lace their shoes up just like you lace your shoes up.
Right. I was saying that, like, knowing that your coworkers now and not your idols, was it weird for you playing with Iverson? Because
it was very weird. I mean, that's somebody who I idolized growing up, and then to be a teammate of his, it was like crazy. I couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, I remember the first time I met him, I was kind of like starstruck, but then I had to go out and compete against him, so I had to get over it very quickly.
You ever found it weird, like one season you're on the same roster, next year you're guarding him?
It is weird, but once you get to that level and you're a professional, you kind of just do your job. I mean, it is always weird when you play against a former team, but it's just part of it.
Yeah. What is it about Greg Popovich and Larry Brown? Like, I love their style of coaching because they don't need one guy to go off and score 50 just to win.
And they're Hall of Famers. They really know the game, and they know how to handle different personalities. I mean, being in the NBA, there's some crazy people out there, man. Everybody's have their own agenda, and they do a good job of managing everybody.
How do you, like, take away those things that they taught you into what you coach now?
Well, you treat everybody the same, no matter if they're your best player or they're your worst player, and that's kind of some things that I took from them.
What'd you do with your first NBA check?
I put in a bank. I didn't really do anything crazy. Over the course of my career, I brought my family some nice things, brought my brothers and sisters some cars, that's type of stuff.
Your parents are from the Caribbean, right?
Yeah, they're from Antigua.
Right. What did that feel like, having that pressure of being a first generation?
I didn't feel any pressure.
No?
Nah, there was no pressure, man. They never looked to me as I'm the savior for the family or anything like that. I mean, my older sister's a doctor, so she's well off also. So I didn't have to come in and be the savior for our family. So it wasn't no pressure for me to be out there to perform or make money for the family.
What year was it though that you said, this is how I'm gonna feed myself?
My senior year. Like every game, it was just a lot of scouts courtside, and they actually had to kind of change the setup of the court to accommodate all the scouts. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I really have a legit chance of making it to the NBA. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, and you're in the same draft class as Kenyon Martin, Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, we had a. They say we have one of the worst draft classes, but listen, those are my guys.
No, I don't think y'all did. I realized Kenyon Martin was the last person to play 4 years and be the #1 pick in college.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rare. That's a 4-year player is the #1 pick nowadays, because everything is based off potential.
Right. Now, being a coach now, do you think you would have seen this many athletes go after their freshman, sophomore year into the league?
Nah, I mean, it's like the league is getting younger and younger, and it's crazy because they're drafting these kids off potential now. So it's like the longer you stay in school, the less likelihood you got of getting drafted. So it's like, if you have that shot your freshman or sophomore year, these kids are running at it.
Right.
And I can't fault them, because a lot of it is, this is a way for them to feed their families. I mean, that's why these kids want to come out of high school. They're in such bad situations at home that this is their only way out.
Right.
This is their family only way out.
And for you were around the same age as KG and Kobe and T-Mac, and they went after high school.
Yeah.
So I find that amazing that you said, no, I'm going to pursue my education some further.
Well, I wasn't as talented as them, so I didn't have a choice.
But you had what, 5 Division I athletes in your starting lineup in high school?
4.
4?
Yeah. basketball. It was me, myself, Eric Barkley,
Odom.
Lamar Odom, and Kamal McQueen. Actually, no, Ira Miller went for 3-1-2.
And what did it feel like knowing that we all pursuing our talents out further? Because there are athletes today, like Sebastian Telfair from Brooklyn, who could have took his talents further but didn't.
Yeah, I mean, they actually just ran into some unfortunate incidents where it kind of got in the way of his career.
Right.
I mean, he let some of the distractions get to him.
It's unfortunate. I've looked up and I've seen that he's the first point guard to ever get selected out of high school.
Yeah.
And it's sad seeing where his career went.
I mean, like I said, he let a lot of outside people get into his ear and just got distracted and not focused on the goal at hand.
Right. But his cousin is Stephon Marbury is the reason why you don't have a state championship.
It is. Steph kind of got in us, man. Our junior year, we played against them in the state championship. It's funny because we actually scrimmaged them probably I want to say 2 weeks before we scrimmaged them at Crazy King, and we beat them really good. We beat them pretty bad. We locked Steph up. I remember when we played against them in the state championship, the first play he went to the basket, boom, 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 got an and 1. And he was like, he looked at us, he's like, this ain't no scrimmage. And I was like, oh man, I looked at Eric, I was like, yo, we in for a long night here.
And seeing him go to China, did you think you'd stay in the league?
Yeah, I mean, Steph didn't have to go to China. He kind of just went out there, and it worked well for him. I mean, he's like the Michael Jordan of China right now.
Right, yeah.
He's making a lot of money over there, and it seems like he really found a home over there, honestly.
Right. And now he's like a legend over there.
He's a god over there. I mean, they're building statues for him and all that.
I saw an interview with you. You said that the reason you said a lot of the athletes from high school not staying in New York for college affects the professional teams here.
Yeah,
in a way.
I mean, it does and it doesn't. I mean, obviously they don't have any control over who they get drafted by.
Right.
But it's kind of just trickles down. It's like the Knicks are bad, and it's just everything in New York. Every basketball is bad in New York.
No, I agree. What do you think we should do to get the best high school athletes in this state to stay in this state?
I mean, they gotta just want to play for their city. I mean, want to know that the best put out there, the best ball players are from New York.
Right. Like, people didn't know Diallo is from Queens.
Yeah. I mean, because he didn't play that much. He didn't really play that much basketball here. But New York still has a lot of good players.
Right.
They just decide to leave for some reason.
Right.
And give somebody else the credit.
Yeah. For instance, Donovan Mitchell, he's from New York too.
Yeah.
His dad works for the Mets.
Exactly. Not too many people know that.
No, and the Knicks passed on him in the draft.
I mean, that's the Knicks' fault. They made some not too good moves. Not so good moves.
Is that why you never signed with them?
No. I always wanted to sign. I always wanted to play for the Knicks. That would have been a dream come true. Maybe not on my pockets, but I definitely want to play for the Knicks. I mean, even whenever I played against the Knicks, came to New York. I mean, just playing in the Garden was magical.
What did it feel like? Like, did it feel different for each team you played for?
Oh, yeah, it's different, man. I mean, coming to New York, this is the best place to play. It's like just the whole setup. Like, the arena's mad dark, and the only thing that's lit up is like the court. So it's like, this is a good atmosphere. And you got celebrities courtside. You never know who you're gonna see out there. Jay-Z be courtside, Spike Lee be courtside.
Yes.
The Giants players be there. I mean, you got the actors, the actresses. Like, it's dope to play in New York.
I saw an interview with Kyrie. He said that playing with LeBron was a distraction because one year they're not selling games. Next season he has like a bunch of reporters around him. Do you ever feel pressure playing with stars like Iverson, Tim Duncan, and Robinson?
Not really. I mean, they need you to perform well in order for them to perform well, so that you guys could win, and it don't mess up their rep.
And you helped a lot in the finals.
Yeah,
Played a major role. Yeah. What was that like actually winning and playing instead of just winning and sitting on the bench?
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you know, like I got to taste it my rookie year when we went to the finals, but I didn't actually play. But then now, I got to actually play in it. It was like a whole another experience. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe I not only won an NBA championship, but I was a valuable piece in order for us to win that championship.
Right.
I mean, to be able to celebrate when that final horn went off was amazing.
I remember your rookie season, you started off 10-0, and being injured on the sidelines, were you worried about something happening to, you know, whether you got traded or not since your team was doing well?
Nah,
No.
I mean, normally typically you don't trade somebody who's hurt. So, because I wouldn't have been able to pass a physical.
Right.
In order to get traded, you got to pass a physical. And obviously, with a season-ending injury, I'm not going to be able to pass a physical. So, nah, I wasn't worried about getting traded.
You lasted, 10 years with constant injuries. When you see guys like Derrick Rose and Sean Livingston, you know, who had an injury early in his career, who recently retired like a few days ago,
Yeah.
what's the secret to just staying the course and just not?
It's luck, man. It's all luck of the draw. I mean, like my injuries was all freak injuries. I mean, when Sean Livingston blew out his knee, this is a freak injury. I mean, you never know when something's gonna happen to you. I mean, like LeBron's just been fortunate to be able to play for so long and not have a major injury, whereas KD tore his Achilles last year. It's just the luck of the draw.
What about getting back into it and staying healthy? Because that's a whole nother mental game.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, with technology now, the rehab time is faster and they're stronger. So you'll be able to come back from most of these injuries. Like back in the days, I think the Achilles might have ended Dominique Wilkins' career, but I'm sure KD is gonna come back from it and be fine.
Right.
It's just technology and stuff like that.
And getting hurt early for you, I can't imagine what that was like. Like I was a man in college.
Oh yeah, it was tough, man. That was faced with my first major injury. The first time I had to have surgery, and that was it kind of sucked because I just got drafted. I was about to live out my dream, and then to have it get derailed by injury and have to wait a whole another year, it kind of sucked.
What coach in the league helped you push past your potential the most?
I'm gonna say Larry Brown, my first coach. I mean, to this day, I still talk to Larry Brown. He's the tightest I've had a relationship with in the NBA. But then also, I would say Eric Musselman. When I played for Golden State, Muss really pushed me to be I was one of the go-to players on that team, and I mean, he used to always call plays for me, and I always wanted the ball in my hands.
Right. How'd that make you feel as a guy who was once second team all conference as a junior?
Made me feel good. It made me. I knew that I could compete at that level and play at that level because I was able to produce.
When you were in college, you scored 40 points in back-to-back games.
Yeah, that. It wasn't just those two games. I mean, like that whole month, I was just in a zone. Like I just couldn't be stopped because I had 40 back-to-back, but like the game before that, I had 39, and then the game before that, I had 31. I was just on a awesome tear. Like I just couldn't be stopped. I had the 31 points against St. John's, the 39 against Iona. Man, I was just unstoppable for that 2-week stretch.
What was the zone you got into that led that?
I don't really know. I was just going out there and playing, and just everything was dropping for me.
Was it seeing the scouts on the sidelines or trying to?
No, because I would see them before the game, but once the game started, I didn't pay any attention to them. I just went out there and hooped, and if you couldn't stay in front of me, I was attacking you every time.
That's why they call you Speedy.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't let up. Like I played every possession out, and I tried to score every time I got the ball.
You tried to use that.
Play.
You felt like when you got to the league, your style of play had to change?
Yeah, of course it had to change. I mean, I wasn't going to be taking 20 shots a game anymore. I mean, like I was taking here. That was AI's job, was to score, and now I had to be more of a facilitator. But lucky enough, I was comfortable in that role also.
What was that transition like from college to?
That's probably the toughest transition you have to make, because a lot of times where you're in college, you're most likely the man on the team. You're taking 15 to 20 shots a game, and when you get to the NBA, you gotta quickly become a role player. You're not gonna be the go-to guy anymore, and it's a lot easier being a go-to guy than a role player. So if you could make that adjustment, you're gonna have a pretty long career.
You feel like you have to take a step back?
I mean, you don't have to take a step back. You just gotta change the way you play.
How did it differ from high school to college?
Well, high school I was one of the men on the team, but then in college I became the man. But then when I got to the NBA, I was a role player. And then you kind of work your way. You got work at it, and then hopefully you get your chance to showcase what you could do, so you could go from being a role player to a scorer.
Right.
But it took me I didn't actually become a scorer until probably my 4th year in the league.
You think you'd be able to play the same way you played in the league today as you did back then?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What would change in your game if you could change anything?
Nothing really. I like the way I played.
Yeah. I mean, your numbers retired for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't change anything that happened to me.
That's good. I'm glad you said that, because I know a lot of athletes look back and like, oh, I could have changed this.
Nah,
I
had a good career, man. I'm happy with the way everything went out. I mean, the only thing I would want would be not to have been so injured so much.
You still would have signed with those same teams too?
Probably. I mean, I love those cities that I played for.
Which one was your favorite?
My favorite, probably Philly. Love Philly. Just because it was so close to New York.
Right.
And my family and friends were able to come up and see a lot of games. And if I had to come home for like a wedding or something like that, I was able to get back.
When the university announced that they were going to retire your number, what was the feeling that you got?
Oh, it was pure excitement. I mean, not so many people get their number retired on any level. And to have my jersey number retired here and in high school, that was amazing.
Now Justin's going to be right beside you one day.
He'll be next.
Yeah. And trying to get these other athletes there too, you know?
Yeah. Just got to keep working hard. You never know what could happen.
Right. How do you push them in practice?
Tell them there's a lot of money to be made in this game. I mean, you look at some of these NBA contracts, these guys are making mega bucks.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that's all the motivation you need. That motivates me to get back. I want to start hooping again.
But that comes with having a good relationship, right, with your agent. Like you had Bill Duffy.
Yeah.
How did he always make sure that you didn't get lowballed?
I mean, Duff is one of the most powerful agents in the NBA. So when you go to negotiations with him, you really don't want to mess around, because he might have somebody that you don't want later down the line. Also, a bigger name player. So you don't really want to handle him bad.
Right. And how do you stay focused on the tags and not the money? Because a lot of these athletes, like, they'd rather just take the check than chase the opportunity.
I mean, this is the game you love. It's not like I didn't play basketball for the money. I played basketball because I loved it.
What do you do today to stay focused as a coach as opposed to a player?
This is my job. This is the next chapter in my life. If I ever want to become a head coach, I know I got to do a good job as an assistant coach.
Right. You're doing well, I'd say.
I think so.
Yeah, for sure. Even with the kids in your camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about that.
Yeah, I had a camp a couple of years back. Probably had it for 3 years in a row. It was growing, but it was just a little too time demanding. I just didn't have that much time to keep it running.
Now, would you ever try to bring it back, just to help the younger generation?
I don't know. It's probably too late now. I had it grown in the right way to start it back up now. Probably wouldn't be a smart idea.
My last question for you was, what was the most fun level of basketball you had playing?
I would say college, man. College was fun for me. I mean, to win the America East championship back then meant everything to me. Because it didn't start out great my freshman year. My freshman year, we still had a losing season. Then we ended up being like 12 and 14. But then we worked so hard and got better each and every year. And then to end it off with going to the NCAA tournament was amazing experience.
Just like Jay Rice doing with Villanova.
He's a legend, man. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, which is crazy.
Appreciate it.
No problem, man.
I tell you what, you're looking right there. We've seen this before too. Yep. Match field goal for turnover, 1 for 1. Not a good ratio.
Kerr wanted it to get it to Duncan so badly, waited until he fell down and got back up, and then Duncan inside outside to Speedy Claxton, and just that quickly, Speedy's in the books.
What a players. They have not done that tonight. They've got to get back to what makes them the odds-on favorite to win this championship.
Inside outside, and Claxton knocks it down again. When Duncan draws a double team, Claxton's been wide open. Both Duncan and Robinson with double-doubles, and in Tim's case, big-time double-doubles. And as Bill said, it might swell to triple-double or quadruple-double before the night's over. Claxton outside. The Speedy got it.
Well, if they score here, they may want to think about a timeout, because as I like to say right now, San Antonio is in full arousal mode.
And they have aroused the crowd with a 12-0 run. Claxton outside. He got it.
Byron Scott definitely in need of a timeout. It's all falling apart for the Nets.
The Spurs can almost smell it. Speedy Claxton in for the ineffective Tony Parker. His biggest shot of the night. 5:21 left. San Antonio now leads by 5. Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Brad, the Spurs have left Speedy Claxton in at point guard because they asked him to embrace the challenge of defending Jason Kidd, forcing Kidd to take tough, skilled jump shots, and he responded. Obviously, his confidence has grown on the offensive end, too, Brad. He is staying in this game that Tony Parker started, Brad.
Speedy Claxton, 10 on the shot clock. We're under 4 minutes. Claxton trying to weave through traffic. Robinson finds the handle. Claxton before the shot clock. The Spurs lead by 10. The little guy, Speedy Claxton. How about his night? Michelle said his defense is helping his confidence on offense. Speedy Claxton has 12 points. It's 82-74 San Antonio. Look what's in the house. That might be coming out on the court in 71 seconds. Not over yet. Speedy Claxton has been sensational. At the free throw line, Speedy with 12 points in this ball game in relief duty. Make it 13. And they're getting some bubbly ready as well. Everything's covered.
What is that?
Apple cider, Bill.